ESL presents ESL Challenger League in partnership with Intel, Aether Predator, DHL,
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to ESL Challenger League. Running up to the lower bracket semi-finals here. Heck, it's actually the lower bracket finals here, whichever way you look at it. My name is Get the Bag Mark. I am here with Apples to bring you some North American action after that South American game that we just saw went all the way. And I'm actually really surprised as to Uno Mile, former 4Magic, picking up that big of a performance.
Yeah, went absolutely crazy, but now we are finally over here in North America. We got Chicken Coop and Aether on. Very excited for this matchup. A little bit, I would say, of a grudge match. Chicken Coop did send Aether down to the lower brackets earlier in the matchup. Once we look at the bracket later, we could just see how this is all brought to a head here in this lower. This is going to be an interesting one, and I know that these two teams, obviously, they've made it done before. Aether wants to get the revenge back onto Chicken Coop here.
Yeah, they absolutely do. And where obviously this game last night that Aether are coming off of is a, little anticlimactic just where you throw it down. Unfortunately, it was LAG that it's not really clear to me the details as to how they couldn't make this final match in being, I believe, the LAN center closed. Something happened, Apples.
Yeah.
Obviously, they won that Inferno, extended the series, and were able to walk it a little bit further. But I don't know, man. I guess the logistics were holding them back. I think LAG were the far favorites to take this entire cup, if you ask me. So I don't know. That's really disappointing. But I'm here at Frag York doing this broadcast, Apples. And, I got to run into Cameron. I got to run into Cryptic. And they're not in too poor of spirits about it.
Well, I mean, now they're just going to be able to compete on LAN. But that's just kind of some of the things that comes with when you're doing online tournaments and local tournaments at the same exact time. But I think it's really interesting to point out that Sportsbet Expert 2-0'd Chicken Coop last night, and it was actually pretty decisive. It was like a 13-3, 13-6 for both maps. SBE on a much better wave than we saw during the Cup 1. But we got Aether's lineup here. No, they are not at they're not at LAN right now. They're at home, so they're nice and comfortable with their setups here, Marky.
Yeah, I'm really excited to check into this Aether roster, who recently just did a very big reshuffle in coordination with Outfit 49 kind of moving on for them and, you know, actually picking up a new roster of their own. It's really cool to, you know, click back in with, you know, the next steps that Brett takes. And he goes for, you know, a variety of, I think, new names that are popping along here and ones that are just starting to get back and get a little bit of redemption. I'm really excited to check out Serum, as I haven't seen much of them, but where Chicken Coop have been honestly becoming a pretty established force in the NA Tier 3. Players like Drop and Wreckmeister have really been pretty consistent on those rifles. I've been watching Drop for a long time. I mean, it's a little bit biased. I've known this dude since intermediate, so watching him now in ESL Challenger League is just perfectly how you would like to see that path. Crisp on the op is so good, but I got things to talk about, Colin. We could get to those later because we got a veto dropping right into our lap.
IGL. Yeah. Got some insider sources here, just from everything around the world with teams scrimming, teams getting ready for this map. But we are definitely going to go back to Nuke. That was a very, very tough match for both teams. The last time that these two teams played together, it was a 22-20 win for Chicken Coop, and they're picking right back into that. And I'm pretty sure that I know that Aether has been scrimming some Nuke, so they were prepared for this to come into it at the end of here. And then Anubis as the decider, Inferno as the second. This is going to be a little bit interesting, especially with Overpass banned here, too.
Yeah, 100%. I think this Nuke is really going to give us a pretty nice, I think, line of the series, just like it did before. I mean, hell, it went into, I think that was triple overtime. I'm trying to do that math. I believe it did. It was 22-20 there. And I think this Nuke is about to be the same thing. Aether running it back. But, I mean, it's Aether that I think plays a really good Nuke. I think that it's Brett that pretty consistently has been calling a good Nuke. Back when it was Brett on LAG, that was one of their mainstays, right? And I mean, that's kind of where I get into talks with Brett in his story, right? Is where I was so ready for Brett in LAG to, I mean, take that hurdle, move up with Mason and Wolf at the time that I thought was very established, but more of that and more. Colin, that's the IGL I was bossing up and hyping up. He had a great entry into the site. He got 2 panic with us, and what is this? Aether right away with Andrew having a triple kill.
All right, well, that is a way to start it off here for Aether. Nice, very aggressive round from both sides. Aether reading Chicken Coop, knowing that they like to go A on this first round, able to do a lot of duels back and forth here. And Andrew is actually who I wanted to highlight as the player to watch here, and specifically because on the last matchup, I think he got like 50% more kills while playing on CT side compared to T, which, yes, maybe you can look at that like it's an effort, you know, not going to get too aggressive on that T side. But still, you got to be able to utilize rifles in your favor. And you know what? Utilize some MP9s. That's going to be a lot of cash farmed up there for Serum.
Pretty quickly into it, too. I know it's just those Glocks hopping off and being pushed out, but hey, man. I'm ready for Serum to hit those shots. I'm really excited for Serum. This is a guy that I first ran into on LAN, as long as we're talking about LAN.
Wow.
I remember 2 summers ago, whenever Frag had their first Kansas City event. I was obviously really excited about that. As a Missouri local I am, you know, from St. Louis. I drove over their apples. There was like a kind of a smaller output from some of the Midwest teams out there, but Zombler's Academy showed up, which kind of caught my eye at the time. It was really cool to see that. I mean, they had a main team alongside Cajun and Co. And I mean, he even went to join the main roster and has done some really cool stuff since then. So it's awesome to get that look. Here's Brett over the top. Unfoot Unbreakable has just removed to drop.
Andrew trying to keep the sightline. Wreckmeister getting it pretty close here over to Mini. Seb kind of tucked on into that A site, not taking too much care. His lobby's getting it taken over by these T's. A ramp push is going to start here. Zaylor posed with an MP9. Not going to get flashed out here, but he is going to hear a lot of this, and the communication over to his team is going to be incredible. Finds one. Oh, and Brett's there for the help. A little bit of a duel there, but, you know, it's going to be Aether taking that one. Wreck left it all alone. Not even going to find one for himself.
This is really, really cool from Aether right off the bat. I mean,
yeah.
I'm very pleased. I'm coming in here from a perspective where I think I'm putting a lot on both callers in this series. I mean, of course, where there's no question that, I mean, Apples, we can get into the big storyline of, you know, where this cup just on average happened to, you know, kind of swing below the mark. Like, you know, Boss aren't playing in this tournament. The best team that you had was Lag, ranking-wise, where that kind of just screams, this thing is wide open, especially where, when you have that, like, regional final spot on the line last, right? There's 4 spots there, and obviously M80 took the first one. I mean, Lag has got to be kicking themselves that, like, things ended like that. That could have been their opportunity, right? But, I mean, maybe it's SVEs, right? Who are, I don't know, it's a weird team form at the moment. Like, they're playing with Fruit Cup. It's just a lot.
Is very interesting here. Quick down ramp. Already one kill found. Drop's going to help them out over near Secret. Brett's already down here. This bomb is going to get planted. He cannot contest that, at least for now. Maybe his bullets could do a little bit. He can't reload quite yet with that new clip update that just dropped in here. Nice flash in. They close the door. Not even going to let them into the site, but Brett is just much better for it here.
Crisp, one shot on the D, gets another from Brad, and Andrew also chipping in. Wreck on his Tech 9. He has the favored spot for this, even in the fire. Back out to it, and Brett will make him retire. In those flames, it's Wreck that had Brett dead to rights on 12 HP, pulling up with the pistol. Not only is Brett the man to watch in terms of the story, in terms of the calling tonight, he's balling. He's 9-2. I didn't really expect this, Apples, but that's what we're getting.
Sometimes that just be how it is. Sometimes you stand in a molly, and then you die, and then the round's over. Am I right? Up top. Up top.
Happens to the best of us.
All right.
Happens to us at... don't worry, I reached up.
Did you? Okay, good.
I went up top. Don't worry.
Thank God. Up out here for both sides. First kill, gonna go towards the side of Chicken Coop here. Brett looking for a little bit of an answer. Getting close to outside. Smokes are gonna be covering a lot of the paths of the CTs, at least for now. So we're gonna start fading, and Chicken Coop are gonna start getting a little bit more aggressive. A nice peek there from Wreck, but just a little bit of damage. Gonna have to rely on a little bit of teammates, but Brett just once again too good for it. Oh my gosh, another.
Wow.
And then a third.
Yeah, this guy is just too much at the moment. You know, I'm about to come in here and say, one thing we haven't talked about is, like, Jared's not here tonight. Obviously, that's going to be a little bit more difficult, but they're playing with their former player, 2Panic, who, I don't know, I got a lot of trust in him. The news just broke on Monday that he's joining Team Mouse, who is a really interesting startup here in North America that you've seen grind through a couple open qualifiers. They played in a CCT. They're an interesting group. And I think 2Panic joining them will add a lot of great experience right now. Part of the roster for Chicken Coop. Part of those requirements in the second cup. Looking down, nobody directly in that vent. One tap on the fake, and Panic is not going to be taking this for granted. He's making sure that this is fully a clear bomb site, and here's that post plant.
They're a little low. That bullet's going to get it, but Andrew quick with that scope. Able to find that final kill here. Aether's going to keep their nice, clean run so far. 5 rounds in a row. Chicken Coop, they've given them something. They've gotten a bomb plant a couple of times, but it just has not been able to close that out. They've ended rounds. It's come down to clutches, and they're just not able to do that with just one person on the team right now.
And just to confirm, I did have to double check. They obviously have been playing with Jared this whole time, so this really is a substitute situation. Have we hit the wall? Yes, we have. Falling into the first timeout in Apples. I was mentioning this to you in the green room. This is one point that I was really excited about. You actually saw a Brazilian coach. This is not unlike the Chicken Coop organization. Last year, they brought in the Kazakhstanian coach. I believe that was Striker, and that was a really cool thing at the time. I mean, he went all the way over to Frag Vegas. I believe that was community funded. I believe they're actually going for the same thing right now to community fund Dark Ops C on the way to Frag. But, I mean, Dark Ops C was a guy that, I mean, coached for a ton of different Impact rosters while that was still going in South America. Most recently, Full Hull Amarella with CK Zhao, which was a really fun project before it dissolved. The drop opening onto Brett. It's also worth noting that he isn't registered with them. So while I say all that sweet stuff, I'm not sure he's actually here with them.
Those are some tide-turning kills here for Chicken Coop in the first half of this round. Brett, their heavy hitter, gone this early. The rest of the team's gonna have to figure something out. Gotta get some space, a little bit of a distraction. But 2 panics good with it. Andrew for the trade. Not even gonna find anything left in lobby. Rest of Chicken Coop, they're already out, down lower. Wreck up here, just gonna be able to cut off the rotates. Oh, Sailor does not spot the head over on top. Mini, maybe he spots him first, but Wreck finds his little toes. It's all down to Andrew.
Honestly, I respect Andrew for walking this way. Hey, what is that? Andrew! Oh my god! One of the filthiest flicks of his entire career. It's not even up for debate. The first sub here for Chicken Coop, but not without a worry of what's to come.
It just made like, that was like the most guttural noise reaction I think I've ever made on a cast before. Yeah. Yeah, God. That's real. That's real. That was on his head. That landed there. Valve fix.
That's what I want to see out of you, Andrew. Oh my gosh. A guy that was more active in previous years of NACS. I saw him, sub in a couple of tier 2 tournaments for LAG when it was Brett under center for them. In for Consti. Obviously happy to get Consti back, who's just been, neck and neck. In terms of comparison of the stats and how far they've impressed, maybe not on physically the same level against that competition, but, I mean, Consti and Wolfie have seen that exponential growth in the last 6 months. Wolfie especially, obviously giving that in-game leadership to 60 after coming back from the tier 1 always helps.
Couple outside smokes thrown out for the tease, but Aether not quite moving anywhere yet. Waiting for a little bit more noise from Chicken Coop here. Andrew posted up. Doesn't look like Drop could get caught here. Yeah, just able to kind of move freely on this outside, giving them a lot of space, but that nice flash in here. Seb, flash is done, actually. He's able to get that. That trade comes through from Colin, but the office here, Brett's able to get one, but Andrew not able to quite land it. Serum's able to back him up. There's an incredible poise shown from Aether this round.
I guess we were just right back to regularly scheduled programming. I mean, Serum, with the great timing there, it's a really nice decision made. It's the micro stuff. And where Serum is going to have a lot to do playing this spot, out towards Mini. There's a lot of responsibility. Gotta start knocking at the door of this T side. I'm not going to be giving you any sort of, leeway. I'm a bit biased. I'm a Two Panic fan, you know, this, I don't know, man. This is hard for me not to cheer for Chicken Coop when I got drop. Oh my God, and he's even 6 and 7. What is there not? I've seen both of these guys up close.
Oh, okay.
I mean, during the ESCA IM times, during main with me and Panic on Addis, each step of the way. I mean, my heart is with this team, with these two players, but they're down a man, and they're the players that I'm looking to step up. And as I say that, drop goes down again. It's Serum, the one that's responsible. Serum up close, and Mr. In-game leader, he's got that trade.
Yeah, I wasn't quite ready for that, but Two Panic may get a little bit of a cheeky spot here.
No.
I don't think Seb even saw him. Do they see each other? Okay, there we go. Able to find that kill for himself, but Brett is now activated, has the info, but the sharp shooting skills not quite there for this round. 2v2 retake, but the bomb still has to get planted, and the numbers are going to get punched now. They have Heaven control. Nice and nade for the smoke. A little bit of info on one player. Nice molly in. Now, at least force them back in. Two Panic gonna have to try and see if he can find some heads, but CTs are trying to get onto this site as quickly as they can. Crisp is on a flank, though. Only finds one. There we go. Two Panic activates from Heaven. Pretty well adjusted there for Chicken Coop for that post plant.
Yeah, got back towards A, got their hands on it, and I mean, barely had to argue to actually get it back to begin with. I mean, this is just a timing that's, you know, a little bit unrepeatable from what you see Two Panic take away, has that shot at the end. And Newfoundland's #1 player had the 1v1 there at the end. That's little known fact about Panic, and he talks a lot about his love to his small scene in Newfoundland. I've actually played with another player from Newfoundland back in an
You've
open
said that
mix I
word
made.
way too many times now. It's been like 5 times with that one word.
Emphasize it.
A little bit of a hidden spot out here for the CTs. 5-7. Serum finds one. AK is dropped, and I think that should be retrievable here. It is. Honestly, already did a lot of damage that they needed to do, but they're just going to add a little bit more onto the fire. Rex going to disrupt that. He's just going to figure that out right now.
Yeah, up towards the top of Heaven. That's that bomb taken in the 3v3. Crisp is walking with, I mean, the entire round essentially on his back. This entire belt utility. Also, Hut being walked on now. Seb can make this play. Seb can set this play up and really, for perfection, Wreckmeister 1v3. Right now, dispatching from Hut will be cut up by that next pistol. 7-2. And this thing is sprinting through this nuke. I mean, we're already through 9 rounds, and Aether are destroying.
They were not happy with previous games against Chicken Coop on Nuke. Obviously, we said it multiple times, a 22-20 loss. They want to get this done and dusted. They knew Chicken Coop was going to pick into it, so might as well practice as much as you can. And their CT side is looking really good. Depending on how that T side goes, we'll just have to see in just a little bit. Still round 10.
I mean, at a certain point, the silver lining I'm looking at is a 7-5, but this is an impossibility. It'd really be difficult for it to happen. Impossibility, maybe that's a little too harsh. Highly unlikely.
It's a
That's the term that I'll throw at it. Oh my gosh. Brett feeling out this timing. I'm afraid that, I mean, this trap of Colin and Drop should find him, but he's just working it to perfection. And now Drop back turn. Brett is another kill.
This is unreal from him. Just able to feel that player behind him over in Garage. 3v2 retake. Soon try and get this util. Oh, this is going to be a nice Heaven flash for them to enter into that site. But Zayler has to activate first over in lobby. Two Panic pose for the taking over here in Heaven. The damage goes both ways, but Two Panic is good with one. 2 more players he has to fight through, and they're just right around the other side. That nade do a little bit of a dicey chuck of damage. Serum's able to take it down in the end.
really impressive. I can give a lot of commiserations to both sides there, but congratulations to Serum for popping off with another very impactful round. I mean, I know it's just taking it away there in the 1v1, but time and time again, I'm praising him, the young player, for his decision-making. Amongst guys like Andrew, Taylor, and Seb, that really, I feel like I know what to think of these players, and I'm just forming my opinion of Serum, and so far, I'm pretty impressed.
Yeah, he's been really good on that support retake. Not like the heaviest shooter right now, but it's always been like him or Brett or Andrew at the end of rounds able to close those out. So very, very impressive indeed. Team Aether looking really good right now. You know, maybe it could also just be a mentality thing. I mean, you get 2-0'd by Sportsbet Expert. Now you're here, you know? Yeah,
I mean, on top of that, like, overtime that you had just before Chicken Coop.
Yep.
I mean, Aether are coming in with a little bit of a stronger swing because of those things. Whew. I'm a little bit surprised Andrew doesn't catch that over the top, just a few pixels away. Look at Brett. Look at how confident he is. And Seb outside. This just makes it a little bit worse, even peeking in deeper. That's calling on to him, drop, walks through. Chris manages to crack that head on Seb. The Mac 10 of all things.
Walking sideways at Mac 10. That's how it works. Serum looking for something of a trade, but with that kill, 2Panic got looking for a little bit of a shift towards a lower. Andrew just has to get out of dodge. Already rotated down lower here. They're going to be able to meet them face to face. Don't have control of double, but maybe a little bit of a view into the site. Seb is going to try his hand into it. It's getting a little bit messy here. The op's not going to be able to do too much. Andrew's just going to save that for the next round because, yes, Aether, they've been winning a lot of these rounds. It's 8-2, about to be 8-3. But their money, not in the greatest place that it could be. It's not been as many consecutive wins as it was at the beginning of this half.
Colin patiently waiting. He's not going to get anything. He'll get himself a third round, calling up on his T side. I'm excited for this opportunity for Colin. I think this is really big for him. You know, finally getting, you know, that call up to one of those teams at the top of Advanced that is, you know, really trying to be a part of this, you know, big list of names in the North American scene that you can consistently get invites to these tier 2 competitions, whether it's Challenger League, where they've been doing a lot, actually. I mean, Colin really grinded, got his VRS notability at LAN. I mean, he went to Frag Miami. I mean, working through a lot of those open qualifiers, Dust 2, Eagle Masters has been really important to the work that he's been particularly doing. So this is really cool and easily the biggest opportunity that Colin's had to work with a group of players in his career.
For a 9-3 half here for Aether. Gun's not exactly where you want it to be. It's all SMGs and an op, but I made it work earlier in this half. Andrew with a very, very close angle here over in Hut. That could be dangerous, but Chicken Coop, they're not really rushing into stuff too quickly. Just probing around. They have a player over in Secret. They have Wreckmeister over on top mini as usual. Drop is going, looking down at here and lower. I don't know if you can hear Brett jumping. I think that's pretty silent from his side. But that's going to make Brett fall back, at least for now.
It's hard to get that audibly cued. And Brett's even a little bit further back than I think how normally I've seen that angle played. A couple of taps here. Really taking their time with this. I mean, Chicken Coop got a man in the vent. They have a player's right to wrap towards heaven. There's 36 seconds. And I mean, the amount of options that they have here is a little overwhelming to them. Colin is going to have to circle the correct play. Taylor now going to be going and pushing. It feels like Andrew was falling asleep there for a minute. Didn't quite believe he was going to be here into the A bomb site. Not checking up close is Serum, just toying with them. 9-3. This is a dominant scoreline on Nuke. And I just can't believe it. I wonder if we're going to see this domination. Find out after this. And resume on this DE Nuke, up 9-3 from, yeah, it's a pretty big difference from the 22-20 affair that they had back in the upper bracket, Apples. Yeah, this is a different plan from Brett and Co today, and I don't know, the current pacing, they're looking to make it quick here on map number 1.
Absolutely. It's going to be interesting here just to kind of check out how Aether is able to... I mean, we saw that they were able to improve their CT side dramatically in that first half, but we really need to see how this T side is going to go for them against Chicken Coop. Could be a nice flip-flop of both sides, but we got some dualies. I love seeing dualies in CS2. These are very satisfying to get some kills. Crips finds one. Even trades back and forth. Already on this A bomb site, but Wreckmeister trying to get a couple more. It's all down to Seb with some nice shots from Mr. Wreck.
Yeah, nobody going to be chasing Seb down the vent directly. They're just going to delay it. Seb up for a big clutch right now, and Wreck, he's hungry just to chase him. Happy to give him the fight, and now Wreck will take all 3 necessary to negotiate the round. Chicken Coop on their CT side start out with a pistol.
Almost a replay of our last pistol here. Very, very quick trades and kills. I mean, the CTs are winning it out this time, but the bomb plant is going to give Aether a little bit more of a chance to figure out how they want to win. Take this conversion back from the CTs and just completely reset if they want to, but it looks like just going to be pistols for this time. Going to play it safe. not take it too fast. I mean, they already have a 5-round lead. Don't want to ruin it now.
Yeah, they don't have to get started too crazy early. I'm not too concerned with that.
Ooh, they were able to drop. Brett was able to drop.
Way.
Does have bomb. Does have bomb. Does have eyesight on him. 2 Panic is going to be able to get close. And
beautiful.
hopefully Serum is close by to be able to guard that bomb if he does go down. But Brett's giving a little bit of a harder time to find this finish. Seb's back into this equation. I mean, they don't have a kit. They could try and disrupt this. A little bit of damage, but Chris fixing it up in the end. That's a chunk of trash. That's kind of what they needed here.
Yeah, that's perfect. I mean, it's Brett just slipping right down the vent. He's a sneaky guy. I mean, this is where Brett does those best. I mean, this is... I feel like Brett calling above, you know, a tier of Counter-Strike that he believes himself he should be competing with, you know, the Wild Cards, the Vokas, the Marsborns of the world. So he's just got to bring his own project back to it. And I mean, where we're talking about LAG missing their move, maybe it's the next best thing. I would say he's probably the next best caller in this tournament by a mile. And that's no shade to Colin. That's no shade to the in-game leadership of SBE, who, honestly, for my money, I can't even really place at the moment. Who is it? Shane? Is it Fruit Cup?
I'm gonna be real. They kind of changed their players a lot.
Yeah, after Steel leaves, and that's like your only clear real caller that happened, I'm not sure who we're actually saying is the caller there.
Yeah.
This was about to pop up at the back of Secret, and you can call it steady. Can't call it clear, though. Hearing a little bit more utility, and in fact, the Molotov that's going to push him to swing and just find Andrew. Big moment outside.
Flashes onto this ramp to Panic. A nice uplifted view is going to get quickly traded. Colin not going to be able to answer or get those trades. Space has been found, but now they need to figure out where they're going to go from here. Zayler's just going to start on this side. Drop is going to find that. That was almost set up for Zayler. That is insane of a kill to find for them.
Just was jiggling in and out of the vent. That's not a game you want to play. Drop, he's going to go on the aggressive and has just dispatched with one more frag. Problem here is Brett, he's got the bomb on his back. And Drop, he can actually go down to the spam. Drop, he's just going to swing the planter every day.
Wow.
He's not going to be playing your games, Brett. He feels disrespected even by that question. That's why he drops you that easily. First gun round, out to Chicken Coop. Now they're not playing games. Not at all.
A little bit back into the Chicken Coop that we expected a little bit more here. They're fighting back with a vengeance, and I don't have an op over in Chris' hand. Interesting hero rifle found for Andrew over on the side of Aether. But they have to fight through the offer first. So shot does not land here for Chris, but he's going to get overrun. At least 2 Panic is there to help him out with just a little bit of firepower and a nade. That's going to be a little bit of a crunch there. T's have to pause for just a second. There we go, a little bit of breathing room here, but it's 2v4, 1 rifle. Almost all exits have been covered here from Chicken Coop, so I have to find a kill somewhere. Have 2 flashes to their names, but they're just going to try and dry peek it. Andrew's able to land that shot. Taking up that AWP is going to be very needed, and now that's the first kill that they need to be able to win this 2v4. Drops in a good spot here. Drops in a great spot here. Ooh. They spot him first, though. Damage
chase this kill. Can't quite find it. At this point, probably just waiting that down. I mean, you don't find that kill, you got to just dart down B, right? There's no time to really walk this, but you're going to take every second. And probably the player you would least like to find here inside of control. It's Wreckmeister that's going to set the terms here in the lower bomb site. Easily able to execute Sailor. And now that Andrew's here, able to click in first one to control and have that trade, but nothing more than that. It was a 9-3 first half. And all of a sudden, Chicken Coop with something big to say in the second half.
Yeesh. Now, just saw that the glass wasn't broken yet. That's so perfect there for Chicken Coop. They hadn't shown any presence down lower. Team Aether hadn't, so they hadn't gone down there. They hadn't broken that, hadn't made their way through that to find out where the T's were hanging out over in secret. So that was a very good protective shield. Aether was missing that little bit of a view there. Chris with a nice opener. Forcing Andrew off that angle, but a nice nade back into response. Aether, they're trying to pick at something, but it's looking not as confident as we saw them that first half. They are taking this very slowly. Starting to work out. Seb finds another kill. Trade for trade here for both sides. Around the corner. Once again, Marky, it's the guy you don't want to see, and Colin's there to back him up for it.
Andrew walking right around Mini. And Seb just still trying to push his own way. Andrew needs a kill. Andrew not an opportunity to take one, maybe 2 kills. Fit Andrew just right. Walks in, tunnel vision, onto that first kill, can turn it around. This one is going to be way harder, but it's a double kill. Such a bad place to be. Chicken Coop pulled out of the vent. Bomb will go down. Crisp to attempt the retake. Down the vent, he goes at 19 HP.
And an op. Have to make a little bit of noise to pick up a rifle if he decides to. He is really taking his time here. Does have a kit, can do so, but clearing every single angle that he can. Does not want to get caught out here unannounced.
Is he gonna go?
I think he's...
No way.
I know, I think he's waiting for them to start moving. Because then he can just get Andrew here, but okay, you know? USD versus AK. Hydrogen baby versus coughing bomb.
Yeah, just quite simply. Quite simply. Kind of a perfect comparison. And through the end of this round. Finally double digits for Aether, and that's their first of the second half in totality. They should be happy.
Yeah.
Colin walking this way, and I mean, Wreckmeister aggressive. Still going to be able to find this trade, though. Just because he's here doesn't mean you can't find them, and Brett will have that kill, but it's still not an equal cost. Only been able to find Colin, excuse me. You got Seb down the vent.
Ooh,
not spotted by drop, but I think audibly should have been. Yeah, they know.
Or did he get down without them seeing? Maybe heard something? Because surely Wreckmeister would be looking at that spot.
Oh, man.
Surely he would, but Seb gonna be able to get the better of this. Almost didn't get that kill because of the rail. But that's a nice entrance into lower for them. And just have to fight through the forces that are going to be coming down. The vent drop is taken care of. Too. Panic does have a little bit of a sight line here, but it could get changed pretty quickly depending on which AKs are looking at him. Finds a lower level health player. Bomb's still going to get planted otherwise, so Marky.
Yeah, they got to secure this post plant. Take another one of these away. This double kill that Seb just got brought Brett to this point. 1v1. Chris with the big swing. It probably is the most valuable altercation in the game thus far. Gets 8 here. where honestly, that Axe of 11 could have iced them out of this nuke. The pick here by Chicken Coop. It's not done. Not done just yet. Even an op that Crisp gets to get to. Excuse me, that's the AK.
Who needs apps? Yeah, that shot there, Wreckmeister not looking towards Secret gives me a reason to believe that they maybe thought that he didn't go down. Because we saw a drop looking and then walking away, assuming that he didn't go down. Or it was a very, very quick drop. Anyways, I'm talking too much on my pedestal about this.
No, it's those little things that we'll hone in on. Especially where this T side just hasn't been able to, actually get these rounds through normal circumstance, right? It's been, yeah, let's shoot down the vent and get 2 kills lower. Yeah, let's let Seb lurk and get 2 kills lower. It's just off of chance.
He's not on this team, right? Uh-huh. Joke.
No, he is not.
Jokes. Honestly,
Ramp hit, they can go.
That gave them a lot of information there. Just those 2 pieces of utility.
They're pulling Andrew
yeah.
up from behind. That's insane. And now 2 Panic. He's back here and will clear to a second. That's ridiculous stuff from 2 Panic.
That's a 3K. All right, they still are able to get lower. They're still able to plant this bomb. Serum said they aren't together. But very quickly, the CTs are going to be here. Molly is going to give a little bit of audio over to those Ts. Seb in a great spot to at least find one. And Wreck is right around the corner. Doesn't want to get caught out too early. Drop's going to help him on the other side, coming out from singles. All down to Serum, 1v1. Is Drop going to be able to find this? They know where they are. A little bit of fake on the defuse. They're going to take a look at each other.
Oh my gosh.
They're just looking at each
they've
other.
exchanged so many glances here. When's the real look? When's the real look? It's Drop that has to take his chance, and he's lost it. Simply to the time. 11 here. And the pile up against Chicken Coop will get worse. That bomb detonates. And Aether are going to be 2 rounds away from taking the Coop's map pick. Just look at that second shot.
Yeah.
That's just 2 Panic and some vintage work right there. Absolutely loving that.
They tried to set Andrew up as best as they could there. They were able to at least get that space there. 2 Panic taking care of a lot of players off of Team Aether. Didn't go too well for Chicken Coop. Looks like in the end now on a weird kind of a bye. Crisp on a scout. I'm excited to see what happens this round with them, honestly.
I'm very antsy to it, too. This is where you're defending from 12 and 3 SMGs. Really a bad place to be. And that freeze time, I don't know. This is a really great team effort all throughout by Aether. Started out with Brett, right?
Absolutely.
He was like 9-2. Then to Andrew. Serum has been sprinkling in impact all game. I think he's very much an unsung hero. Seb also having a big pop off.
And that scout did something, got a nice leg over onto Zayler. Chris gonna go down. Unfortunately, not going to see too much of that scout anymore. Drop's going to answer back. But the T's have a lot of control on this outside. Chicken Coop, they have to kind of hide right now. They're trying to get interested. Drop is going to grab a second with a long-range MP9 kill onto Serum, though.
That's just not right. That's just not right.
They buffed it.
You're
Let's
not
buff it
supposed
again.
to be able to do
Let's
that.
buff it again, guys. New patch notes just dropped.
Oh my gosh. Sniping him right from heaven with the SMG. That was definitely in the script for tonight. Smoke back down on door. Might have to run it back. Panic. Back to ramp. Waiting and phasing out of the door. I'm just wondering if they're going to go in contact rather through Brett maybe into the A site. I mean, Wreckmeister's here and hiding in this little corner. Honestly, I can't see him making this contact without at least pulling away a single kill, especially now the drop. He's been acknowledged into the bomb site. Do they go down vent? I think that might be the death of them even worse. Here's Panic coming in reverse, and he has the flank. 2 taken out, and they just waited way too long.
Indecisiveness at that point. And honestly, that buy working up for Chicken Coop in the end. They were able to hold some angles, not give any information on over to the T's. They were looking for something. They were, like you said, looking for that contact, but all of that space, all that time, let 2 Panic get behind them, push that ramp side, go through single and get those 2 kills. Brett not going to be able to do anything from that.
I mean, you've simply done enough. Gotten him onto this eco. You're floating the idea that your entire sentiment of this nuke is going to be on top of 1 gun round. Running after Panic. Running after Crisp. It would be nice to get Crisp a couple more ecos in this game. Hell, why not Colin? Why not drop? Give everybody a share. Panic. Back down to it. Ready to get his hands dirty. And, well, here's my wish. Colin getting in. There's Panic as well.
And just really set up here from Chicken Coop. Everyone just set up exactly where they're like, all right, the T's are all going ramp. Let's all set up exactly where they're going to be. Drop's going to be holding on to this A site, rotating at the perfect time. Zaylor. Okay. Took a couple bullets, but Drop able to find that last one. Got double digits on the board for Chicken Coop. And a reminder, it was a 9-3 half. Team Aether was leading. Not able to answer back as much as they could want to on this T side.
This is the gun round. But this means double for Aether. In Aether, if they get 12, they're simply going to have to get past another big Chicken Coop buy. If Chicken Coop gets 11, well, it's going to be an eco separating them from at least overtime point, map point of this initial pick. Nuke called up by Chicken Coop themselves, and they don't want to see it slip. Not today. Not this easily. Excuse me.
Nice Bloom to view that smoke. Zaylor is going to take advantage of the aftermath. Get a little bit more space time down lower. Wreck did spot a little bit of Brett here. It's on the little bit of a ladder kill there. Serum finding 1, but traded back double, and Colin is just sharp with it alongside. Now, Aether just pushed all the way back into lobby. Not much space except for what Zaylor has found in lower. So, I mean, gotta wait for him to activate a little bit, but there's not much time, and he has to shift walk. It's going to be a very interesting one indeed, and I don't think they know how many players are just sitting on a ramp waiting for them.
Wow. And just take him down. Zaylor in a 3 versus 1. We're going that far. We're going that distance, but it's going to be that gruesome. I want to see how the financials play out just as I predicted, or do they get a little more leeway?
You go get a knife
10 seconds. He's just in the back, so I don't think it can get this far.
Yeah, let's say AK's picked up for almost all the CTs. Yeah, this is so good from Chicken Coop. Like, even Aether, it doesn't really seem like they are mid-rounding as much as we could want them to. They'll start with what they want to do at first, which was that single door entry in. And it just didn't work out, and now they're just kind of stuck in lobby, stuck in ramp, and it felt like it was 1 by 1. What are we going to be doing now? Zaylor, trying to get a little bit more space, does go and try and find that. Ultimately, in the end, just leads to Chicken Coop reading it because it just lasts so long. There's some rifles here, at least for Aether to fight back into that 12th round, but they got to play together like they were on CT side if they really want to make this work.
One good call, and they're just going to go with the basic outside set. This is going to be disappointed that they're already past this. And Brett was such a prominent hand in finding those frags amongst the active pack of outside. I really wouldn't expect him to go and double up with the lurk. But Seb needs some help getting back down ramp.
Oh, he's just right around the corner here. Two Panics
Behind
already
the
set
doors.
and waited.
This swings. This is going to go into him. Not sure how this works for Panic.
Just depends on the timing here. If they know that he's down here, they're waiting to enter into this site. Oh.
Yeah, it's going to swing into him, but it's not going to be that easy. They'll have that shot right next to it. Even that kill up top. Andrew will put in plant on the way. Crisp with that AWP. Ends the herd. I mean, moments pass Apples, and they lose 2 men.
And Wreck is so low here. Really just
my
depends
gosh.
on how many shots are going to be landing, but Crisp and Drop are so good with it. Zaylor left on his lonesome, and that single door is closed. Has to make noise to get back onto the site, but nothing's giving. Wreckmeister has been too good on this CT side to give them anything.
And that's going to be 12 for Chicken Coop. Is they're saving their map pick at the end. You get a timeout for Aether before we get out of here. Get Ninja on the mic for this because, I mean, you got to address the very, very big blunders in this round. I mean, you couldn't have had a better moment in order to take 12 there on the CT side, or rather in post plan for, everything that you've gone through, right? I mean, you've barely been able to cough up these T rounds. That was a moment that you're not going to get back, and that's going to cost you map number 1.
And this is a map that they've been trying to work on. They knew that Chicken Coop was going to pick into this. They did not want to play any other map against them. This is the Coop's first pick. Definitely an improvement for Aether based on the last matchup, but just depends on if they're going to be able to make this into OT. They got to get this done. They got to have a very tight, cohesive round, but that is the first shot. A nice, crispy shot indeed there. Brett out for the count. Not going to be able to answer or help the team, at least for now.
Andrew just peeking in, and that's what Andrew wanted. Andrew needs something just like that in order to push his team to overtime, but up at Nitro Wall is Wreck. It looks like they were about to just pour out of that smoke. It's 1 by 1, and this is really not the way that Aether wanted to wish it up. A double from Wreckmeister, and then it's Colin to finish it. Put in the final nail in the coffin. 13-11, no overtime needed, but still neck and neck. They're taking away this nuke. That part is consistent. That part is going to be existing in this series for a second time.
Yes, very, very neck and neck. We saw a lot from Aether in that first half that we liked, but just came down to it. Their T side just felt pretty uncoordinated in comparison, which is hard to build once you're just trying to get this core back together.
Yeah,
trying to
I
get
thought
this
their
all
T side
situated into that
was
spot
a bit
at some
unmanageable.
point.
I think that was unfortunately a little bit
it's
of
going
a
to be
worry,
an interesting
and
one,
where
how
you saw
we
this thing
end
really
up
get
working
complicated.
through
But
this end.
I mean, that's where I put blame on Brett. Like, I'm hyping up Brett all throughout the first half for what he's doing individually. I need him to be able to call back into this nuke when it matters the most on this T side. Right now, we just got to talk about where we're going to be walking forward with the rest of this series, and we got this map to come. So right after this DE nuke goes out, it's 13-11, and we hop onto a map 2 after this. Well, we're back on the hook for map number 2. That's where we walk into the rest of our series, and who knows for how much longer, Apples. The last time these two teams met, we know what happened. It was a 3-mapper, but I mean, that Nuke arguably goes about the same. It was neck and neck, but for the most part, right? We were about to flip the script. I was ready to call Aether the ones that were taking that map, and I mean, that could have flipped the script. Is Inferno this time going to be any different?
It could go the way of Chicken Coop, at least for this time, depending on if they were able to do the same kind of work that Aether did on that nuke. It was very, very dominant for them in that first half. Unfortunately, not able to bring it to the close that they wanted to, but Inferno, get this, it was a 13-6 victory for Team Aether in that last best of 3. So Chicken Coop, if they really want to get this done, they got to bring that same firepower that we saw to keep that match away from overtime over on that nuke.
Yeah, 100%. I think where that nuke comes through to show really some of the worries that I come in here with a Brett-led team, and unfortunately it's, the ideas and opinions that I had, kind of clouding my thoughts of Brett before, where, I don't know if it's the tools, I don't know if it's Brett, I don't know if it's just the circumstances here inside of that one map that I'm, overanalyzing, but, I really get nervous where, you walk into this type of T-side, you're up 9-3, and they just drop the ball. We're looking on to where Chicken Coop's maps have been recently, where I'm speaking honestly pretty concerningly about this Inferno, but I mean, this has actually been an okay Inferno for them in totality. I mean, for the most part, they're a pretty efficient team on it.
Yeah, the couple of losses that they had on Inferno was to Team Aether. So it's really just been trying to figure out how they can crack that team's play onto this site. Otherwise, they have a pretty good win rate. So that a little bit of adjustment that they need to do to be able to win against Team Aether on this map won't be too hard if you already have a little bit of a view onto it. But we're going to be going into this map pretty soon. Do you have like a prediction at all here, Marky? Do you have an idea of it?
It's easy to go with the side of Aether coming back and taking this, but I feel like I have to. I feel like I have to take them hopping onto the CT side or onto a T side where they had so much individual strength. I mean, come on, Brett. This calling doesn't get more simple than this.
Absolutely. Just depends on how this pistol goes. We'll have a little bit of a view on how the first half is going to be. Couple of shots thrown from Aether over towards Banana, but they are largely looking towards a little bit of a bracket brawl. Chris going to be finding that first headshot. 2Panic, he loves these close corners. He's going to be able to drop back, at least for now. Aether, they're playing a little bit more timid like we were seeing on that T side of Nuke in the second half, but the kills are going to be going equally. Wreckmeister's still going to be showing up like we expect him to. We already see Brett going ham all the way around this bomb site. Seb just has to connect up with it. He finds one. Brett finds another. Very quickly becomes a 2v2, but they are split between this bomb site. They're splitting these CTs back and forth. Now they just have to isolate some of these fights. Now, how quickly has this become a 1v1 here? Nice smoke drop down, and they're going to touch each other here. Brett able to find that through the smoke. That's going to be a 3K for him. And honestly, a very, very, very scrappy first round here for Team Aether to win, but they were able to completely play this so smartly. Yes, they dropped a lot of players here, but Chicken Coop not able to find the end of that. That's just an insane kill through the smoke for them. Chicken Coop going to be forcing into it this time. They do not want to give them that conversion. Want to keep this win safely, potentially into their hands to close this one out quickly. Now that you guys... okay. Double up over in apps. I like the 5-7 and MP5 combo there for 2, but looking over towards Banana to take this. It's kind of scrolled into a standstill for now.
Force buy back into it, though. That's where you have to come and answer right away.
Yeah.
One shot over the top, Panic coming back. This whole push inside of apps, though.
Did get a little bit of some rotates over, but it looks like Chicken Coop have read through it, and they're already bringing almost all of their players back on over to that B site. It's not completely doing what Aether wanted to here. They're walking into a stack bomb site. They waited just a little bit too late, but that MAC-10's gonna start, and the trades are gonna come on through. Brett is just too good with it. All down to a 5-7 and an MP5, or MP9. Oh. Crisp has already been spotted out. Force buy not gonna work out in their favor today, Marky.
Yeah, definitely not the gamble that they wanted. Or rather, the gamble that they guessed. Not the way they wanted it to play out. Of course, that's the fallacy. You'd bunny hop out of here, but Aether already onto their Aether pace, and the connection's already back to, what, the Inferno that's 4 or 5 days old already from that last series. Detonates to a 2-0. Come on, Chris. Steal one right at the end. He does onto Brett in CT.
There you go. Yeah, at first I was a little bit worried there for Aether on their timing onto that site because they pulled so many players over to that A at Chicken Coop. Realized that they were only stacked one there and no one was coming out onto A at all. They just had one little bit of viewage over in apps. They respond with a very aggressive MP5 here and a very aggressive Wreckmeister, Marky.
I mean, everybody dropped to it, but I mean, Wreckmeister's Deagle took 1, Chris took 2. Unironically, a very considerable amount of damage. That's why they're being so careful walking back to Drop, who just got hands on an AK. Happens to have the bomb right inside of this perfect choke point. Here's the hold and good lineup. Drop manages to get them both together and keeps them tied to their first round. Chicken Coop provide through such insane circumstance. I mean, down with this one flick. You got Chris popping off elsewhere. It all adds up. This is just chance. This is just so good from Drop.
Can't put all of your eggs into one basket, as they say with Chicken Coop. Andrew getting caught a little bit with that utility early on. CT is fighting very aggressive. 3 on top Banana to fight this back, and that nade's gonna take care of Andrew very quickly, and Serum's not too far behind him.
Another pretty flush B control that, I mean, it's just getting worse. Hey, I know we're looking at that one just off the back of the eco, but look, each time I feel like they've been walking back to it. It's been the util that's been getting worse. This time they lose a name. And almost Serum, too. He signed up to entry later in this round. You know how that goes.
Entry MAC-10 just jump around. Can't shoot you if you're moving too quick. Smoke's gonna fade pretty soon, and they're gonna be very, very visible. Only got a re-smoke already ready, but they're gonna try and beat this and run through. A nice flash through. Brett with a little bit of damage, but Wreckmeister just too good with it. There's only
Brett
so much
trying
he
to
can
turn.
do.
I mean, he got a couple of shots in the CT, but you already have this rotate in for backhaul.
Oh my.
Chris is putting those shots down. Brett sees the CT smoke fade, and the same lineup would have to appear. Goes right away. Chicken Coop provide a second here. 2 in a row towards this B side in particular, and kind of that's the rest of the bank for Aether. Just runs out dry directly.
So close there for Brett. You just see the potential there for him if things just lined it up just like it did for Drop in the last round. Unfortunately, did not work out for him. But he stayed alive a lot longer than I was expecting him to. And I don't know if you felt that way as well.
Took a little too long. I can definitely attest to that. But pace for pace. This is where I'm just going one round at a time. Trying to look at Chicken Coop and kind of the bruising results that they've taken. I don't know, man. I think we were giving them too bit of a benefit of the doubt historically with some of those Inferno results that we were showing in between games. Like a little bit of those are, in my mind, probably not ones I'm counting. You know, if they didn't happen in 2026, I'm not giving them the respect. Hell, we're almost into April.
Oh my gosh, don't tell me that.
Yeah.
Don't tell me that. Do not say those words to me.
Panic walking up to it. Didn't see the shoulder. But just these Glocks getting pretty antsy with it. I mean, Brett under the spotlight again. Yeah, you're 7-3. We can get it done. And, you know, maybe I can come to question where just the rest of the pack is. I think that's where I put concern on, you know, this Aether roster to begin with, which is one that is honestly put together role-wise, I think in a pretty promising place compared to, I think, most rosters at their current statute. They're going to run the flame. It's just with these rifles, and they're going to go in range to the pistols and just be handled. It's Andrew Teague with 2. At the end, it will make it happen. But that's what I'm saying. I think role-wise, it works. And, you know, where Aether, it can just be perfect in that retrospect. But you just have to have the firepower to go along with it. I mean, straight up. There's, you know, multiple members you can point to over on Chicken Coop and, you know, having that same conversation. Hell, I actually think they're capable of, you know, putting their firepower to a completely different place right now than where it would normally be with Jared. I think Panic, I prefer him to Jared. It's no disrespect. It's a different player, but, you know, where you can, I think, see that ceiling raised, it's really up to Seb and Brett, I think, within this roster where Sailor's been very quiet. Like, just too quiet.
Missed shot there. Almost had a really good entry. And Zaylor interested in getting a little bit closer to these CTs. Just going to be sticking that same spot that we saw kind of playing around with 2 Panic and Drop last time in brackets. They're just going to be trying their luck over onto this B-bomb site. Nice flash onto Colin, but they're going to flash back in response. And a smoke in their way is going to keep them, at least from now. It's where the 2 players over on this B-bomb site or A-bomb site decide to start getting a little bit more aggressive. We saw that Molly come out, but Drop still interested in getting into it. A little bit of a spot, but don't want to really line up here. This spacing a little bit awkward here for Aether, but they just got to get into a nice angle to get these CTs. His Chicken Coop, it's really hard for them to get anywhere crisp in a very interesting situation. Seb's able to call him out.
Going and fighting through the smoke, Panic goes down to the next swing off of it. I mean, would have just been overwhelmed. I mean, every single player here got the kills necessary. You just needed Crisp to not be in a terrible spot, and, well, that was the first mistake. Colin and Wreckmeister, they're still going to come together. I mean, this is through lane. This is through the double push. I'm not sure they're going to be able to get the contact that they would like from Seb, but, I mean, leaving this to be a little bit deeper. Staring at the top of the site. You got Wreck going a little bit lower. They're ready to let it loose. Make that contact if you're going to make it. Going this far and then just stopping is so not worth it to me. I mean, they're just going to go down on top of a whole hell of a lot of nothing, in my opinion.
I like this kind of match play where it's a lot of back and forth here that we're seeing here in comparison to Nuke. Like, yes, it's awesome to see a team have a 9-3 half and then like a 5-0 start and everything. But I like it when this is testing their economy, because now we're on round 7, half and half. They're kind of at the same spot for money, which I feel like levels this playing field a lot more and makes it more just about their plays and not just, all right, who has the best weaponry here. And Panic just going to prove my point there. A nice opening kill onto Zaylor. Going to take away that lurk over on that A site with a FAMAS.
Yeah, it's Drop's turn next.
That's my bad.
No, I'm right there with you. It'll happen to you. Rek fades away from brackets because he can. It's the liberties you can take when you're up 2v5. 5v3, excuse me.
Sep's looking for something over onto this A site, and that bomb is going to join up with him. Coop, they are very, very well tucked into this. 2 Panic over in cold. It's a hard one to clear. He's not going to even see Crispy. Oh, he does give him a little bit of a jiggle peek, and that's going to be a little bit harder to entry in, especially with the bombs here. I'm trying to get a little bit of a visual. Seb trying to clear all his corners, just going to get caught out by these CTs. Locked down on this A site.
That's the result that you want every single time. This is where it's going to happen. I mean, this CT side is going to be where Chicken Coop are going to be pulling the rest of their thoughts from. I mean, this is their favorite part on this Inferno. Where we're going to be having problems with it is on the T side. But where we can stand on flawless CT wins is where they want to be. Onto Nico now, into a pretty desperate one at that. I mean, is now the time to hand Andrew the hero rifle? It's a choice. It certainly is a choice.
And that's a Brett, maybe.
Yeah, no kidding. He's got Kevlar.
Well, Andrew also
says, "I trust you." That's a type of leader right there.
Don't see that much these days.
The IGL that Simple would love. Gives him the gun every round. Andrew ain't playing like Simple. Andrew wasn't even playing like Consti. Back on that AWP. Hell, you've already told me. Rather, I've told you and our audience how I felt about Consti and his come up. And so consistent on that. And a big bright spot for LAG where, I mean, I think you're about to come over a lot more firepower issues, adding another IGL to the mix. Depend a lot on that op as it is. Here's this B hit. And Seb, Andrew within this range. I mean, flashes are just so good. Rek mites are calling. They're just going to hit mouse 1. Rek with 3 out from New Box. And, I mean, Brett will broach back with the Glock, and it's Rek with the 4K from the back lines.
Had nothing but a smoke at that point on that T side. We're really just trying to buy around that hero rifle that didn't even be able to get really activated as much as you wanted to. That is such a hard bomb site to crack, and now it's been 2 rounds in a row. We see that A site, that B site acting that way. What does Aether have to do this round to even try to get their feet into it? It's been rough for them. I mean, it's a close scoreline, but this has been a very tough T side for them here.
I don't know if it's just a weird night for them individually, but it's one thing for me to have a statement like that said, and it's another thing for me to wonder, when Brett's on individually, I mean, he's fragging out, does that mean the calling's off? And again, I'm coming back to it. I think really this could be one of those nights where, I mean, they just get one good result. Just like the one that Chicken Coop just got 3 rounds ago, a flawless win. One that can just really lift them up. I don't know, that can turn them around.
Whenever Kerrigan is top fragging on FaZe, you know they're not winning. You know?
Yes, yes.
So we just saw that happen.
Unironically, probably not a better time to use that comparison.
Now they may not even be going to the major, so... Indeed. That's not who we're talking about today. See how Aether's able to handle this site execute once again. Wreckmeister up to the bat, and he is just so good with it. Able to find 3. Zaylor finally finding that trade. But there's still another player on this bomb site they have to worry about, and then 3 more players rotating in. At least Colin's able to get that trade, but not going to be checking over near CT. For those 3 chicken boys. Chicken boys?
That works. That works.
Those 3 chicken boys are... I don't... What noise does the chicken do? Bok bok? Or bok bok it in a sight.
They cluck.
Yeah. You know what, guys? It's late. I'm sorry. I apologize. Sincere apology from me.
It was getting to that time. I mean, it's
late.
A different day here on the East Coast. It's Friday, everybody. Hello to you. Good morning. There's that Tech9 running around the corner. Serum. Oh, that is ugly. That is so bad. Serum, my boy, is drawn off. He's dropped off the map, excuse me. 3 and 10 here on map number 2, and that's just a non-negotiable. Swing off it. 2 panics. Sees a man trying to play anti-flash. They're just embarrassing these pistols. Crisp gets to have that kill up close.
There's just really no T-site cohesion here. Cohesion that you really want. Just 1v1 peeking into it.
Wow.
This is a almost completely Team Aether than what we saw, but it's honestly, it could just be their T side at this time. Like, their CT was incredible over on Nuke. I don't know if they're just trying to take it with the turns and try and do what they can, and maybe they'll get a couple rounds over on T, and then once they switch over to that CT, and they really feel that confident. But right now, it's just nothing's really coming onto the server that's quite enjoyable to watch from them.
Yeah, this is really disappointing. I don't know. I figured it would change at some point, but even where I look at the statistics, like their CT side isn't, you know, miles better. It's only like a 2.5% difference. And this thing is meant to be pretty even. I'm looking at the Chicken Coop camp. Maybe if they try their fortunes towards get out of the crosshair of Wreckmeister, then they can start to actually have a chance.
He's just playing aim labs on that B site is what it really feels like. Anything they throw at him, he has it taken care of. Just trying to get tested there. Not gonna completely land the shot, but now it's time for Aether to get this site taken care of. Sam with a nice entry. Drop's actually gonna be able to trade. Nice no-scope from Chris, but that's all of the site players gone. Aether finally had this bomb site and are able to get this bomb plant, and now the B players rotating in to get this defuse. They have utility been set up at the ready. Wreck gonna go off of this flash.
Just to the corner of the site. Andrew and Serum will come together in Serum, just like that. Up for the 4th. Beautiful work. Turns out that A site just really was where they needed to go. I mean, this setup was okay. It was just okay. Drop got put down after really 1, and, you know, when you're depending a setup to work off of a multi-kill of 1 guy, then I think you're asking for a little bit too much.
Feeling a little bit better about this. Chicken Coop wanting to end this half higher note than they could. Wreckmeister, that's aggression that we haven't seen too much. They've been really playing more on the back site, and Drop gonna go in with that op pick. And then Chris gonna answer it quite well on the other side of the map. That is so much taken care of in the first 30 seconds of the round. Andrew, I know you just said don't want to ask too much of a one man, but 1v4? Is that a potential here?
Would certainly have to be. What's great about this is I haven't seen Drop pick up this AWP since he was back in IM. In the ESEA intermediate days. When he was playing for Yikes Gaming under Kai Lele. I mean, that was the last time he pulled out this op, man. Everybody's got a little bit of an opping role in their history. You just got to look for far enough. Oh, right now, look at 9Z, look at Mayer, and he had one, I think, or two teams in his entire history where he had an op role, had been on the main rifle for years, always picking it up when necessary to do it on that dust too, but I digress. You still have Andrew taking ahead this clutch, and honestly, a pretty respectful amount of room, but he pops up into the A site. We'd have to isolate this fight so perfectly on the call-in, but it just will be the Chicken Coop poll. It's an 8-4 first half. This isn't looking like the fight you had on the previous affair. This is an entirely new deal. Headed into overtime, headed into halftime, excuse me. Gonna see how this is gonna work out after a break. (8-4) first half. Too good to be true. Another question. Up 1-0 in this series, and that was off of, honestly, Chicken Coop just putting down Aether off of a pretty big comeback, right? 9-3. Yeah. When we're setting the circumstances here and putting that next to 8-4, it's really adding up to looking like Chicken Coop is just looking to be the better team in this series through and throughout.
Absolutely. And you can kind of tell it in Aether's just kind of plays and how they're trying to mid-round and figure out where they're going to go. It hasn't been as cohesive as you could really want as a T side could be. It's just unfortunate to see just how it was from Nuke, how they started out, how strong that was over here. And now we got to put that caveat in. Could be just that they are a CT-sided team, and we'll just have to see how that goes. And on this pistol, they're going to be trading pistols here like they did last map, Murky.
Very quiet at the start of this. Thought they were going to be chasing down Brett at the top of car after a couple of those pop shots. Let's his smoke clear. Not going to make it too easy. Chris was pulling some contact. Chris was the one that's equipped with the P250, and, well, there's my wish. They have found Brett. They've just left Serum here in the B site with Doolies at New Box. Seb onto drop. That's going to be at a pretty important part of the round. You're not going A, and right here, it's still going to be Chris sticking around. So that lurk, it better be legit. And Serum here towards New Box is going to be checking Wreckmeister without a second sentiment. I'm going to need to see more than just the 2 out of panic, but this post plant, it's going to start. Rather, they're going to push. Keep going with these Glocks. Try and protect the plant. It's Colin that secures it. But this flash, it's going to go out, and Sailor wants to fight off of it. It's 2 panic, another with this Glock, and it is the quad kill out of panic. Subbing in for Chicken Coop. Can he get the ace? Seb, he's going to tap it once. It's the 10-second defuse.
You're
Seb,
kidding.
He
There's
may
no
just
way.
do it. Seb hops off right at the end, and it's Colin that does have it. No ace by panic, but it wasn't necessary.
Almost a little bit too close for comfort there, but 2 panic able to show that that Glock was just able to work really, really well in his hands. Chicken Coop sat at a really good spot here with that pistol win, now 9-4. Aether, they really have to think about their economy now. It looks like it's going to be maybe just a couple of pistols picked up for them. They need to be able to save to just try and get a good buy going in at least the next couple of rounds. Stack here over in brackets. There's going to be a lot of guns used to try and shoot at Wreckmeister, but I mean, there's nothing that can really get rid of him, at least for now.
Wreck coming in. This man a couple more ecos. Why not? Just swing in so hard into CT. But you may even see that Mac 10 run a little bit further. He'll just say, have at it. Drop right at the end. 3 separate.
Really just kind of speaks to how dominant Chicken Coop have been on this map so far, that like the highest kills over on Team Aether right now is 10. They have not been able to break that barrier. Well, that's just kills, but Wreckmeister been incredibly good on that B site, has been able to farm up a lot, and now has a lot of cash for himself, looking to farm a little bit more with this Mac 10 close quarters. Serum with a nice rifle along with Brett. They are going to shut that down as soon as it even decides to start.
First gun round, and they're showing up with a different precipice to this. Just at the top of card. That's how some of those can go, though. Chicken Coop just trying to get the lay of how things are going up there. Too much control on the brackets that they're supposed to have. Just because it's the 2-man setup over here, they're not going to get eyes onto it. A boost that they're going for? Nobody holding in CT. Drop just waiting off of the play, but it's Serum here. There's a boost that exists. It's just elsewhere.
Double boost. It's a double boost here. I just got to boost on boxes and just make eye contact with each other.
Serum right to it. Should be a free kill here for Serum to double up on the new box boost. There's Chris. Started off with the first, but Aether open up shop on the CT side.
Starting to look slightly grim here for Aether. I mean, That round was a little bit of a lifeline for them against Chicken Coop. And we do have a timeout coming over on the side of the Chicken Boys. Just to see how they want to do. The economy hasn't been built up as much as you could want it. Aether kind of sitting really well right now with full utility, and these rifles looking to bring this to an even number. What are they cooking? My cat won't stop yelling at me. She just will not. She's mad that I'm talking to other people.
Understandable.
Yeah.
And my dog has some choice words for me when I'm on the broadcast. Though Nala, she's always great to bring in. It's a pleasure. Gotta have that cough button clear, close to go and mute. Brett is gonna be getting, and Serum will continue to kills. Will be just as clean as before. Back 10 sprinting in, has a trade, but it's a little bit too delayed.
Yeah. At least have at least one less body over on that Aether side, but Chicken Coop have to figure out maybe a bit of a game plan here. Drop is going to be taking a look over towards his A site, maybe pull some rotates, maybe just get some kills. Look for something interesting. They're going to wait out, just cut noise, at least for now. But I feel like Aether, they're going to get a little bit hungry just a couple seconds if they decide to get a little bit more aggressive. And it looks like Drop was spotted. Not going to be given anything easy, at least not for now.
They're even going to bring over a player from B with this.
Huh.
They're going to smoke back into Banana. They're going to try and outsmart them at their own game. Seb and Zayler are still standing. So this is really going to be a risk. And just trying to put down a lot of these shots at default. Drop here, he has to be more than a distraction. It's Colin that has to trade onto Zayler, and Drop does that. So a 2v2, a proper 2v2. And the bomb will get set down here at the back of the site. Andrew and Brett show up in full form to this. One kit on Andrew. But they're going to be moving pretty quietly in this. Nothing long. Gotta depend on this if you're a Chicken Coop fan to take this 11th. Saw how many chances that Brett and Co. fumbled at the end. You do not want to wear that same shoe. Colin, the 1v1, and he stares off against his opposing in-game leader, who has more lead. Colin is out, but he's got the secondary. The Tech 9 will arm him. Alarm this 11th round up onto the board. Aether, they needed that like a lifeline. That
puts them in probably the worst spot that they have been all map. Even with this such heavy defense that they've had on that top B. Chicken Coop able to just kind of disrupt. They were able to find this timing. They were able to communicate through Drop when those rotates were coming in at the right exact time to execute onto that A site. They are really proving that they know their stuff on this map. They're getting so aggressive with it, even with his utility. They're feeling fired up from that. That is a really good clutch to win at that last round.
So valuable. I mean, Colin may have just caused the beginning of the end of cup number 2 here for Aether. Not a satisfactory performance thus far. Was looking to be impressed way more, but maybe now I'm starting to understand why Outfit 49 thought it was necessary to, sort of shuffle out this roster. Add in new players, go with a new identity, stay with those Ukrainian threads, but that's a different topic. Serum, he has 2 here down, and still causing very big moments, but it's all pulled apart by Colin and Drop. 2 kills on top of that, and Panic is going to be walking at the perfect moment to go for a look. They're still going to get this look at a CT, and it's both of them for Andrew.
My God, that is unreal timing for Aether. They gave it to Drop that first round, and now they're going to give it over to Aether now. Two Panic does have a bit of a lurk. I don't know if they heard some footsteps before, but it looks like Zaylor was waiting for it. AK picked up. There we go. Didn't get that round before, but the lifeline has been resumed, at least for now, for Aether. A little bit of a change of aggression here in Banana helps them out. There we go. It's only up from here.
Yeah, that would have really hurt to see another situation where they just kind of lose their trades and end up coming to another spot like this. Eco, big time eco for Chicken Coop, and it's rather not going to be that. It's Colin that says, we need a force buy, we need a force buy now.
Yeah, they have a couple more rounds to play with. Don't want to get it too close, but can try and do something punchy and quick. Try to shut down, maybe if there's an MP5 on the other side. Zero making that known, but yep, that Tech 9's going to be saying a lot back towards it. Brett's going to try and hold the forces off just for now. Has to wait for a little bit of team to come in, but they're getting hungry. They're getting very aggressive. Brett's going to try his best, but may not be quite enough. Andrew is close behind. Oh,
you just gotta look for Panic here.
Yeah.
I mean, he's gonna have to just heave this thing up.
So
Bomb
low.
is going to leave. Bomb is gonna leave right now, and Panic is just gonna attempt to stay alive for as physically long as he can. Crisp is gonna get a bomb plan here.
This is so
and right now,
smart.
Aether are gonna realize what's happening. I mean, this isn't an impossible round. The HP is terrible. The HP is really a problem. But the fact they've gotten this far makes me believe this thing could go.
Hearts are in the right place. Nice peek there from Chris just to get a little bit of info of how close they are. You see Zaylor on the other side. Three coming in from Arch. It's literally just one bullet. They're able to find one. Panic's so low, but he's able to find one with the AK. 2v2. They have to run away. They have a kid.
Back in lane. Smoking the bomb. It was just too close. Probably thought that was the diffuser. But it wasn't. Off of the bomb. It just got too close to it.
Ooh.
7 that will be collected for Aether. Apples that get so close. That's 18 HP that Chicken Coop make that a problem on.
Either they're just able to do that with such low HP is incredible. Such a smart idea to move on over the site. See how it goes from here. They have so much inertia here. They have so much confidence with how they're playing these T rounds and how they're calling. Chicken Coop looking incredible. Aether, it just feels like, yes, they're getting these rounds, but they are just so hard, difficult for them. Maybe with this bit of a buy coming in from them, they have the op, they have that utility that they need. We'll see how Chicken Coop is going to respond with their buy. Chris with that saved over AK. My heart's pounding, Marky. My heart is scared.
What is up with this tech pause at the moment? Not seeing anybody DC. Potentially TeamSpeak issue. I'm seeing that a player cam is actually just down right now. We got to make sure that those are up.
Gotta make sure who's playing is playing.
Mm-hmm.
Integrity and all that, you know. Real and true.
I'm thinking that it could just be like a phone that's died, though. Usually these players do something typically like that.
Yeah.
Everybody's camera has a phone attached to it for some reason.
What? Everybody's...
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Everyone's camera has a phone attached to it. That is...
You heard me right.
Well,
I'm hearing that... Well, we're back in 4K. We're back in HD. That camera's back online. Back into the freeze time. Cup number 2, Apples. mean, this is second to last best of 3 of the entire tournament. SBE sitting with grand finals already at their access. We know that to be true. 11-7. A batch of pistols. Keeping it at 2K of the line. Chicken Coop headed towards A, and I think they're going to get ready to pop.
Oh, yeah, they are. Nice apps play. Chris is going to be trying
really
to get...
good from Crisp.
Yeah, trying to get some space over from that arch. Smoke gonna make them chill out just for a second, but no, let's let Chris get a little bit deeper over into arch if he wants to. Some point, looking like Aether is gonna be clearing out the other bomb site. You can already see Serum's pretty pushed up over on Banana. The 4 players over on A, they have read this completely well. Maybe we'll get a consolidation kill, but no, all 5 players on Aether are gonna be staying alive for this one. No eco kills. No one's gonna eco today. At least that route, you know?
Not too easily. That's what we were waiting for. Zaylor, Seb, Andrew. Just answering like that with no real issue. Now, this is the real deal. When we're past round 20, I mean, first gun round, back to it. Andrew with this AWP.
Colin trying to be careful. Close up to the flames, and they but triple stack this B bomb site. Nice nade, though. It's going to make it a little bit thinner over. Serum just below Wreckmeister. I don't think they're even going to clear him. And Chris was able to take care of that. But the op is up into play. And nice 2K from Andrew. 2 panic up to bat. A leg would do
this
it.
Man.
No.
Saying stop right now. Andrew, you didn't have to get that second did. I mean, knew that it was required. Panic around the side of that smoke. I'm just feeling good about this retake for Aether. You got to assume that they are too. There is a spray through the smoke. Now, I'm not saying I saw that coming, but here is the door open. Drop is the most important player in this setup. And swing the CT, but that smoke is still up. Not going to check on a 7 until it fades, but it's going to be the back turn. Drop is going to go down, and Zaylor with the double kill. That is damaging. The chance is big time for Chicken Coop.
That was a gun round, too. Chicken Coop. Granted, Wreckmeister not on an AK, but Andrew playing incredibly well with this op. Starting to swing the way of a third map, but Aether just has to keep this going. To defend against these pistols once again. Yeah. Oh, they're going quick. They're not slowing down. They're going as fast as they can. They are chasing Zaylor all the way through library.
I love this call.
Oh my gosh, this is so good from them.
The way it works out is perfect too, but I mean, you just love this choice made by Colin to go ahead and push on the gas. Couple of kills made. How do they set this next couple of moments up? Drop with his Tech 9 down middle, needed that kill. Not done yet. Drop likely gonna have to get right up into the face of this player back inside a balcony. It's Seb, that he's just gonna lock out with a little bit of utility.
This does have a view on him,
together
though.
This post plant. Going aggro in lane, he's gonna make that contact, and he takes the kill onto Andrew. Drop doing it himself. The Turkish-Canadian player all on his lonesome, practically in this round. Picks up an AWP. I don't think Seb is done either. Quarter left on this bomb. He can still queue up a clutch, but I mean, Crisp is just gonna take him back. 12 rounds here, and grand finals point that Chicken Coop can press in the next round of Inferno.
That's a change that we needed here. That was so much speed and aggression, even just on an air quote eco half buy here from Chicken Coop. They were able to take that pace back into their own hands, keep Aether guessing, running around the map, being chased by chickens.
Andrew, he can't even sway his way back into Banana. The utility is just not what he wanted. Not what he hyped it up to be.
He's really stayed over towards this B site for now. Would have been interesting. Maybe something different, a little bit more mobile, a little bit more aggressive, but is going to get shut out just for now. Still keeping the pacing in their hands. Chicken Coop slowing it down a little bit. Keeping that lurk in drop over towards apartments. Double Smoke's going to come out, hoping for some rotations, I'm assuming, over toward this A site. Brett's going to be leaving B. Andrew is all by himself on Banana, holding that angle. Well, there's just two players from Chicken Coop over on A, and that's the spot of the bomb. Andrew's going to have to hold on, or his teammates is able to help him out.
Drop makes contact. There's 3 players here. But they're going to bring back Crisp. That tells me that they've got to believe in this B site, even if Crisp isn't coming back. This is such a good play from Crisp. In actuality, not to leave, but to stay and try and hold them here. 3 kills! Right in front of your face. It's actual magic. Where does this come from?
Now they just have to hold those guns. 6 seconds left on the clock.
That was it, Apples. If that is the round we come back to when we're discussing Anubis, well, now we're going to be discussing Anubis 24 rounds deep. 23, excuse me.
That was so good from Brett. Quick rotation in. Chicken Coop assuming that they had already gone. Timing's not as good as they wanted them to be, like they were at the beginning of this half. Aether is on it, and while they are dropping a little bit of players each round, it's still keeping their economy pretty tight. It's not really how you want your BXQ to go as a T-sided team. Chris close up
Crisp up here to the logs.
Yeah.
Nobody going to be peeking back on that corner, and they're lucky at this point.
Oh.
But he walks into it, was waiting for that. I saw it on the mini-map. Seramy's gone. And this is one of the final ingredients they need. I mean, Serum has just been the player in Banana, where he's been standing next to Brett. I mean, that's really a praise. Serum has done a lot in this game. And I definitely will be praising him after this game. Back towards A. One more hit, but 3 players home for Aether.
Doubled up in apps here. We do have the op over on this side this time. Andrew heard me, I guess. Drop back into a little bit more protective onto that A site. Spoke's going to be coming out for that T side. Drop is waiting at the helm. Taylor is a pretty good off angle, but he's going to get very aggressive and found out by Wreckmeister really quickly. At least Andrew's able to at least activate a little bit, but it's all down to Brett. The players are dropping like flies on Aether, and there's not much left you can do against all this firepower, Marky.
Another great IGL bites the dust. It's Brett that's going to be eliminated from the tournament in line with DJ and Cryptic from LAG. Duo calling that out here. But baby, make way for Colin. This guy called up. I knew Colin as a main IM player about a year and a half ago. Now he's playing in ESL Challenger League. Now his team is headed to the grand finals, 2-0 over Aether. They will meet SBE for a big best of 3 tomorrow night.
Yeah, incredible there from Chicken Coop. And I know you said a little bit about it in I think it was at the beginning of that half of Inferno, but someone who like really stood out to me over on Chicken Coop, other than Wreckmeister, 2 Panic was incredible. Especially even on Nuke, he was holding some very tight angles, very awkward angles. He was able to find some places to just hide for Aether to walk into. Where Aether, yes, they're walking as a pack, they're trying to clear these angles, but that spacing wasn't completely done as well as you wanted it to. 2 Panic was able to like very well take care of that. It just not get those trades on over that Aether really wanted all of the time. But all in all, incredible showing from Chicken Coop, and also incredible showing from Aether on that first side. Unfortunately, Inferno not going to go exactly how they wanted it to, how it went last best of 3 versus Chicken Coop, but they got to be proud of themselves in some way here, Marky.
Yeah, 100%. I think that there are, signs to look at in this best of 3. Like, I really think Serum is a great player to look forward to in future Challenger League Cups out here. But, there are players like, say Zaylor, who, we've seen through multiple ESL Challenger League iterations, part of Omid, part of that Perseverance controversy. And unfortunately, he wasn't really part of that. He was the player that got kicked, and then that whole thing went down. He was kind of out on the outbounds of that, but was really quiet tonight. And unfortunately, I think that's really what we were wanting to avoid. I think this is the opposite of the narrative I wanted to write for Brett tonight, and unfortunately, that's just the way it goes.
Unfortunately, that is just how it's going to be. But take a look over at that upper bracket, and we can see how Chicken Coop's rival, I guess we can say, in the grand final made their way through. Sportsbet Expert, lots of 2-0s in their history. The only one that they lost a map to was Lag Gaming, and you were talking about that a little bit earlier in that pre-show, that could have gone the way for Lag, that it was Lag more focused, but it's going to be interesting tomorrow, Marky. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I really am excited for it too. Obviously, I'm a fan of any team, holding on to OG Wizard as their opper, and obviously he's been sort of the cornerstone, obviously with Evan Kaw, of where they've been coming to play inside of ESL Challenger League, but can Fruit Cup and the boys get it done? I believe it's very doable, but, we're the ragtag group we're even mentioning in the series. I'm not even sure if they have a quote-unquote real caller. I wonder if Colin and Co. is going to be able to, sort of outdo them in that sense, because I think outshooting SBE is not really a part of anybody's itinerary. Now, let's be real.
Absolutely, but we'll just have to see how that all goes down tomorrow. Thank you all for watching, and we'll be seeing you in probably 24 hours for the grand finals. Everyone, have a great night. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you later. Not going to get too aggressive on that T side, but still, you got to be able to utilize rifles in.
Honestly, I respect Andrew for walking this way. What is that? For a minute, didn't quite believe he was going to be here into the A bomb site. Not checking up close is Serum, just toying with Drew. Up from behind. That's insane. And now 2 Panic. He's back here and will clear to a sound vent. I think that might be the death of them even worse. Here's Panic coming in reverse, and he has the flank. 2 taken out, and they
respond with a very aggressive MV5 here and a very aggressive Wreckmeister, Marky.
Happens to have the bomb right inside of this perfect choke point. Here's the holding line hub.
Aggression that we haven't seen too much. They've been really playing more on the back side.
Brett and Co. fumbled at the end. You do not want to wear that same shoe. Colin, the 1v1, and he stares off against his opposing in-game leader, who has more lead. Colin is...
I don't think they're even going to clear him. Chris was able to take care of that. But the off is up into play, and nice 2K from Andrew.